What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I have for you the Summit Peak. We're gonna throw some shots with this ball. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it. And what we have to compare it against is another pearl, strong, symmetric in the line. It would be the Zen Gold Label. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there have it, so you guys will probably be interested to see how that compares to the Summit Peak. Let's go out in the lanes, throw some shots. Well, we're actually out in the lanes. I'm just gonna turn to my left and then throw some shots. Cam 2's up. I'm gonna switch it up this time. I'm gonna start straight-ish and then make my way left. For a lot of you, this might not be straight, but for me, at Holiday, this is incredibly straight. Not bad. But Summit Peak, what can I tell you about it? TX23 Pearl. So what that pretty much is the Pearl version of the Phase 2 cover stock. You know, very similar build to the original Summit. Obviously has that same core, centripetal AI, I believe. So very low RG, very high diff, and I've thrown it a little bit. If you watched our Absolute Power video, Chris mentioned we went to Korea, got to take these balls. If you didn't watch it, please go watch it, we're desperate. But I had some play. Strong pearl, symmetric ball, important piece in the bag. Dang it. As far as like the pearl symmetrics are concerned, it almost feels like the strongest out of them all. The original Zen and this one feel pretty close strength-wise, but this one feels like it gets off it a little bit quicker. I wish I had an original Zen to throw against it, but I don't. But because it's super low RG, super high diff, it picks up super strong in the mid lane, and this also has a little bit of surface on it too. You might be able to tell, and that's just kind of how we throw these balls. So knock the shine off it, get to read the middle part of the lane. But you'll see a very stark difference in the way that both of these balls transition down the lane. This one having a little bit of what I can assume is more nano in it than the Gold Label. It's gonna wanna pick up a little more in the mid lane and then go a little more forward, whereas the Gold Label is gonna wanna get down the lane a little further and make more of that left turn. So if you got a little more ball speed, Summit Peak might be the one for you. But I am now 5, 10, 13 left of where I was throwing the heater. We're gonna try and hook one. I'll be honest, it was a pretty piss poor effort. Still hooked. Is that because of Holiday? Perhaps. Is that because of Summit Peak? Can't say it's not. Like I said, super strong. You can see as it's crossing the lane, it almost feels like what the TNT Infused was doing, where it's kind of clean the first portion of the lane, but you can see it try to go straight in the middle part of the lane. And for a ball like this, that's kind of what you want to see, especially on sport patterns where there's a little more oil and you'll typically have to get further left and cross the lane a little bit. You don't want your super clean balls to be just that, super clean, because then you're not going to be able to control the front and the middle part of the lane. So that gives this ball a very large window of usage. We're gonna try one slightly better. I'll be honest, it was only slightly better. I just kind of got around it, threw it, you know, 5 right, like the last one. I'm gonna throw the Gold Label now. So this one, we believe, has a slightly weaker cover stock on it, and the color's a little darker, so it might help it get down the lane a little bit better. Also has a little bit less diff, and this layout's a little bit different. The Summit Peak is 5 1/4 with a 2 3/4 buffer. This one is 5 1/2 by 2 1/4, so slightly longer pin, shorter buffer. So this one, the layout should go down a little further and snap anyways, but I imagine where that last one almost 710, this one should kind of peel through the pins a little better. Oh no, not from there. Rewind, rewind, rewind. Try that again. There's always got to be one in every video. Alrighty now, let's try that again. There we go. Yeah, you see a little bit more continuation through the pins. It's just because a little more energy retention, slightly longer pin, a little less diff. It's not going to go as forward. So technically a little bit of a weaker bowling ball, even though there seems to be more lateral motion. But yeah, the Gold Label is a ball that I use a lot as my later transition ball, you know, after all the big ASIMs, then you go into your phase 2 type balls. This has kind of been the one for me because it seems to be a very controllable, clean and flippy motion. That's kind of weird to say, but it's not a super quick transition and, you know, unpredictable. It's like quick smooth, where it kind of gets there and goes instead of, you know, super descriptive. It's got the vacuum effect to it. Oh, there we go. Now I'm getting warmed up. And that is what happens sometimes if you use a ball that's retaining too much energy when there's a lot of friction and your touch is not the greatest. The ball can just overreact on you. Where this one almost got 5 to the middle, the summit peak may go forward enough to where that's just a 4-pin. Either way, a delivery like that shouldn't strike. But we're gonna go back to the peak. Now that the rev rate's coming in, I'm gonna move a little. You can see it when it transitioned, it tried to do the same thing as the Gold Label, but it didn't boomerang left, it went more forward, which for me, that's kind of nice. It gives me a bigger window of usage. I feel like I can use this one a little bit earlier, just because it is more forward, the cover's a little bit stronger, so it's gonna pick up in the oil a little bit better. And then it seems like when it's out of usage, it's a very clear sign, which is kind of nice. You know, you throw one that gets going way too forward, then you immediately know, all right, time to get out of it, instead of waiting for the moment where, you know, you get 5 to the middle like the Gold Label. I'll throw one more, why not? And I don't know what else I got for you. I think that was like 6 left. Get a little more rotato potato. Not it. Just yeah. Clear sign to not throw from there. Just not the young buck I once was. Can't end on that. Can't end on that. Yeah, lanes are already hooking a good amount. Christopher was on this lane before I was, so that happened. He took all the oil off the lane, but we're gonna try and finish you guys out on the strike here. Yeah, real strong in the mid lane. So that's it for you guys. Summit Peak coming out December 19th. Come into TV Bowling Supply and pick up one January 19th. Coming out January 19th. December 19th already happened. But TV Bowling Supply will still have them. So get your pre-orders in right now or come in after that date and just come pick one up. All right? But everybody, please have a happy and safe New Year's. Lots of strikes out in 2024. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe button, please. Again, like I said, we're desperate, and we'll see you next year.